Welcome to Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast, your podcast dedicated to all things Animal Crossing. Episode 186 is brought to you by Mandy Tate, Julie, and Ed Jasper, some of our newest Patreon patrons. This week, Nina, Chuy, and I are going to talk about the upcoming E3 events, our hopes and predictions for Animal Crossing at E3, and our other gaming hopes and predictions. So to get us started, Chuy, how are you doing this week?
Hey Sergio, I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, doing well. I think we're gonna be doing better next week with all the gaming stuff going on.
Yes, so much news. I'm here for it. I'm ready.
Nice. And Nina, how are you doing?
I'm great. Back from the beach and a tiny bit more tan, and feeling a little out of the loop. I haven't been paying attention to anything, so I'm ready to catch up.
Oh, nice.
Well, that's good. That's really good because I actually had some quick reminders for people at the beginning. Real quickly, Sergio, Nina, and I were chatting very briefly just before the show, and I think we have decided that we're going to record next week's episode a day late. And that is obviously due to Tuesday morning being the Nintendo Direct that's going to happen next week. Are we seriously only a week away from that? My goodness, I'm so excited. So we're going to record a day late. You won't see the show on, the regular Tuesday. You'll see it on Tuesday. It'll just be later on Tuesday than usual. I'll try to get it out that day right after. Probably after the 4 hours of Nintendo stuff we're going to get, because I want to watch the 3-hour Treehouse as well.
Yes.
So expect roughly 4 hours of Nintendo news next week, because there's going to be the 40-minute Direct followed by 3 hours of Treehouse. So it should be a good time. We'll be a little bit late on the episode, but you're just going to wait a bit extra. If there are questions about what happened to the show, I'll answer them all as best as possible, because I'm going to be, of course, distracted streaming the event. I'm just planning on streaming the whole thing.
Nice,
It should be fun.
And this is where my yearly pain comes in, because for some reason every year the same week of E3 is the week I'm doing my Harry Potter camp.
Oh no!
And we end at noon, and then usually we hang around and clean up and set up for the next day. So I'm not home until 2 or 3. So I always get this late. It's horrible.
I think it's a conspiracy. Someone there doesn't like E3.
It's true.
Clearly.
I mean, sometimes I'll just have it streaming on my phone while I'm working, but usually I just have to catch up when I'm home.
Right.
Yeah. Well, luckily it's all recorded and you can catch up. The past E3s, really old ones, it was just amazing how we got any news out of those. The modern world E3s are where it's at, to be honest. Yeah. So I do have some other quick reminders that are Animal Crossing related. June feels like it snuck up on me this year. We have new items in Nook Shopping. Be sure to check those out. Some of them are a little bit more time sensitive than others, meaning I think some start ending around the 15th. So be on the lookout for those. There's a couple new ones that just started, I think the past couple days or so. So if you want all of the items in the game, now's your time to go and shop for those. The next thing, wedding season has begun.
Yeah.
It's already the 7th for us as we're recording, the 8th. You've already missed a whole week of it if you forgot. But that's totally okay. You have time. I think we did the math a long time ago about how many times you had to do the event to get one of everything. I'm pretty sure you're still within that timeline. You're good. Just do the event. You can get one of everything. I am going to go and do it just to get more organs, not body part organs, but the piano looking thing organs with the pipes.
Pipe organs.
Yes, pipe organs. So yeah, those are really awesome items. Some of them are needed for a special crafting recipe. You can get a crafting recipe through this thing. So if you haven't done it, if this is your first time going through June in Animal Crossing New Horizons, it's worth checking out. It's a pretty cute little event, and it's not every day you get to see new special characters on the daily. So Reese and
Yes.
Cyrus are around, and they're worth a visit. They're great.
And new
um,
stuff. I'm so excited about the new stuff. I can't wait to play.
I don't know if the wedding season event itself has new things, but I do know the Nook Shopping has some wedding themed items.
Oh, okay.
So those are luckily available all month. So you do have time on those, but there are different colors of them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want a bunch in the same color, you're gonna have to play and make sure you order a bunch in those colors. So or make extra characters and order extras.
Right.
Yeah, because they're not going to be reorderable after this month ends, so now's your chance to get them. So yeah, outside of that, some summer and winter bugs and fish have returned for everybody in the northern and southern hemispheres. Depending on what you're looking for, there might be something you missed. There might be something you're still looking for to make a model, such as myself. I recently got asked by a friend. They were like, hey, is the hammerhead shark back in the game? And I was like, I don't think so. And then I checked and I was like, oh, it is. That starts in June. So you can catch a hammerhead shark. There are some sharks now available. The great white is there. The saw shark. I've caught them all at this point because I have been looking for select bugs and fish in my area. So yeah, I mean, I went through my list of models, what I've already crafted, or what I've already made, and then looked at my closet as well and said, oh, okay, I'm still missing these fish, so I better make a list. And yeah, I'm all organized now. I'm catching everything, 3 of everything.
Nice.
Yeah. So if you've been waiting for the summer season, some of it has hit. A lot more is going to hit July/August. July is when you get all those big, really rare palm tree beetles, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So if you're looking for those, I'm going to recommend picking up the game in July for sure. But June does have some goodies that I'm surprised were already in season. So it's nice. I've actually been playing a lot again just because of the bugs
Oh.
and fish.
Nice.
So it's funny how that keeps you going. Maybe Nintendo should add more. Who knows? But speaking of that, I guess it's time to start talking about the Nintendo E3 event. We have gotten confirmation that Nintendo is having an E3 Direct. This is taking place on June 15th, the last event of E3,
Yeah.
because it starts on Saturday the 12th, but Nintendo wanted to keep that Tuesday date, and they didn't want to do it, I guess, tomorrow, the Tuesday before E3, you know?
Yeah.
So we have to wait a little bit extra. Don't worry, we're all just a week away. We should be fine to wait that long. So the day, June 15th, time, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. You can, do the time changes if you're in different regions. I tend to just grab those two. I'm not even in any of those two time zones, so I have to do the same thing. Duration, roughly 40 minutes, like I mentioned. The subject matter, it's going to be focused exclusively on Nintendo Switch software, mostly releasing in 2021, followed by around 3 hours of gameplay in Nintendo Treehouse Live. So it's all Switch, no 3DS games, of course,
Aw.
but just no Wii U games. It's all Switch games, and these are mostly going to be releasing in 2021, which I like their word choice, mostly,
Yes.
because, it means we've got a lot to look forward to this year, but everybody's looking forward to, what is that big surprise that's going to be happening next year,
Right.
Zelda Breath of the Wild too.
And they've also promised things before and then had to delay. And I know they really don't like to do that. So I think they're being very strategic with those words.
They've delayed some very precious games to us over the years. Animal Crossing 2019. Was that a dream? Was that a dream? Early 2020 wasn't too bad, just an extra 3-month wait for us, since we were all just like, you know what? December 31st, that's when we expect it. And even that date was not successful.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we're gonna get tons of stuff. That's why, like I said, we are delaying next episode slightly. We'll just be recording after this whole event, and then it'll go up a little bit later on Tuesday / early Wednesday or afternoon Wednesday, depending on your time zone, right?
Right.
It'll be worth it, though. I'm sure there'll be plenty to talk about. Lots of really nice, hopefully nice Animal Crossing announcements, but just getting some Nintendo stuff is good enough for us sometimes. So I guess let's get into talking about E3. Like I said, or like Sergio said, you did the intro today. Like Sergio said, we're gonna go over our hopes, our predictions, Animal Crossing related and non-Animal Crossing related today. So let's actually get into that with some Animal Crossing E3 related things. And I want to ask both of you, what do you hope will happen for Animal Crossing this E3? I mean, assuming anything happens, what would you hope would happen, Sergio?
Ooh, yeah, hope being the key word, then I'm going big. I'm hoping we see something like a season pass. Basically DLC, but it's a big one. It's a big package of content for the game. I would assume that it would include a lot of features from New Leaf, Brewster, gyroids, everything people have been asking for, including online multiplayer for up to 8 players. And also, something kind of cool, I would want them to add the ability to expand your island, or maybe to have like a second island on the side, maybe that you can build a bridge to and you can go there. And so you could do that, or you could do both. You can expand your existing island and then have this little mini island on the side. I mean, if we can dream, let's dream big. Let's dream a lot for Animal Crossing.
I love these big dreams, especially something like island expansion or even like a little second island. I think this was something that I honestly thought would happen in this game, like the base game. I really thought, like, because the theme seemed to be so much about like growth,
Oh, yeah.
taking your deserted island, making it not deserted. I really thought like island expansion would be something Nook would push for. So I'm kind of surprised it's not in there already. So I would totally believe if it happened. The other thing with it that I think would be cool is if like that had some different connotations. For example, if we expanded the island, all of a sudden our villager limit goes from 10 to 12.
Oh.
That would be and like adding multiple expansions on top of that until we get to like 15 villagers, like the original game.
Yes.
That would be I know so many people who like there are a lot of great villagers out there, and so many of my friends have been like, if they could just like add 2 more villager slots, I could have everybody that I've always wanted.
Nice.
So yeah, that I would love an island expansion. I think that would be quite delightful.
Oh man, you guys just gave me the coolest idea. Like, what if you could expand your dock and then the 2 new villagers could have, like, homes on stilts whose doors face the long dock? Then you'd still have all the room on the island.
Yeah.
That would be really cute. And that, you know what? That also like expands on my idea. Like, I know a lot of people really want the main street to exist. The main street should totally be on a dock in this game.
Like, if they expanded it.
Yeah, well, I mean, make it like a whole beach pier thing, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like that would fit the setting so much more.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, so many good ideas, Sergio, like off of this alone. And online multiplayer, like you can't ignore how big that would be for players. Like that'd be a huge deal.
Yeah.
So Nina, I guess what are your hopes for Animal Crossing this E3?
Well, I'm still like lamenting the fact that we never got a huge Animal Crossing themed booth at a physical E3. Because I just keep thinking about watching the floor, like in between segments, they'd have a live video of the E3 floor, the Nintendo booth. And one year it was New Donk City and it looked amazing. And then
Yeah.
another year it had a really huge guardian, the spider guardian from Breath of the Wild. And like, what if last E3 it was going to be Animal Crossing because they were about to announce the big, like, swimming update and it was all summer themed?
Yes.
I just wish we had gotten some E3 love eventually.
I mean, we did get a little bit of a taste of this with their PAX East display.
Right.
That's true.
That was, and I feel like, yes, we should have gotten that at E3, you know? Unfortunately, they didn't do that. But it does remind me, I remember the comment I heard from people on the show floor with the New Donk City one was that they were playing that Jump Up Superstar song
Yeah.
over and over and over. And it's a really great song, but any song after the 100,000th time is gonna get really tiring. But here's the thing, like, Animal Crossing has hourly music.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that would make it really great. And if it was like a weekend event like this one, they were there on Saturday, 8 p.m. KK Slider
Ooh.
performance.
Oh my gosh.
How in the world is Nintendo not putting Animal Crossing in their theme park? It's the perfect thing.
And they've
It
already
would be
done
so good.
Yeah, it would. And they did that with the Squid Sisters. No, with Marina and Pearl. Didn't KK open for Splatoon
Yes.
like in
Yeah.
real life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should be closing the show, but yeah, he was the opening act. So modest, so kind.
Yeah. So it can be done, but you know, that's me just dreaming.
Yeah, there's so much potential there. I mean, how are all your merch booths not called Nook's Cranny? Come on.
For real.
Like that's the spot to shop, you know? So
Gosh. Oh, it would just be amazing. I
I want so badly to see that.
little Timmy and Tommy running around with their flags.
Yes.
You know what? Haken, an Animal
Haken.
Crossing convention. That's where it's gonna happen.
Ooh.
Yes, that'll be amazing.
It needs to.
But, you know, as I'm coming back down to earth, I'd be happy to see anything Animal Crossing at E3. I'm not sure we're going to. But I know we've talked about it before, and like Sergio said, multiplayer would be unbelievable. Anything. Give anything.
One of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. No, both of you, awesomely big dreams. And it makes me sad to say that I'm kind of torn about what I want to see from Animal Crossing. Just because like part of me is tired of seeing Animal Crossing news and then just seeing people be mad about it / talk bad about Animal Crossing, because I'm not about that. Animal Crossing is perfect. It's amazing. Stop being mad at the game. It's great. It doesn't matter which game it is. Even Amiibo Festival deserves some love. It's Animal Crossing, right? But then the other part of me is also like, yes, give me all the updates. I still enjoy them, even if other people don't. So if it's for me, I'm good. I'm happy, you know? So yeah, that's the big, I don't know. That's just like the thing that I run into with that. Like I want to see the news for Animal Crossing, but I don't want to see the backlash to the news
that
for
makes
Animal
sense.
Crossing.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, chances are it's not going to be very big news.
Yeah.
Unless, you know, just miraculously we get the 2.0 update.
Wow.
But who knows? Who knows? Kind of doubt it. So I guess with that in mind, do you think the next update will be 2.0, or are we getting a 1.11 situation? What do you think, Sergio?
I'm expecting 1.11. I think if we ever get a 2.0, I think some year we will. I'm hopeful on that, but I think whenever they have a 2.0 ready, it's gonna get announced, and they're gonna want to hype that a little bit. So it could be announced before E3, but I don't think it's gonna be ready around then. I think it'll be a little
Mm.
while. So I think the next update, yeah, 1.11.
Mm.
Yeah. And I'm kind of right there with you. I'm leaning 1.11. Um, I just I don't think they're ready for a big 2.0 update quite yet. I think
Right.
they're probably, letting it cook a little bit more, working on it a little bit more before I mean, if it happens. And I kind of wonder if that'll be like a big paid update too,
Mm.
you
Right.
know?
Right.
So, I mean, there's no telling. I know a lot of people are really against like a paid DLC thing, especially in the Animal Crossing community, because we're so used to getting so much game for whatever price we get the game for. Like there is a lot of Animal Crossing in each Animal Crossing game at that base value. So, I don't know, 1.11 feels like it just makes a little bit more sense with the timing right now.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's, I don't know, it hurts to say, but I'm starting to think a 2.0 would be like a year 3 thing for the game, you
Yeah.
know?
Yay.
What do you think, Nina? What's your thoughts on this?
I mean, I think we just need to get through summer. It might even be a 1.10.1 update. We like there's just not much. I think we'll get a few more international items that you can order through the mail. But I really like for them to wait for 2.0 for the fall because we've got those big heavy hitting holidays returning, and I'd like to see them a little bit different than last year. So I'm totally okay with waiting for 2.0 right now.
I getcha. Yeah. And you're totally right. Like the fall autumn time just has so much to do. It's like so kind of packed. But at the same time, like now that we've experienced, it feels right to update those. And because already we've like gone through what it feels like with very slim updates like Bunny Day. I honestly didn't have to do anything. I talked to him and he was like, "Oh, you've
Yeah.
crafted everything. Good job, kid. Here you go." In the zipper T fashion, what he would say. So, and yeah, there's just like hasn't been too much to make the current holidays any bigger than they already were. So I think it's worth them doing something by then just so people get a little bit more variety, especially during holiday times when people are home and have a bit more time to play.
Yeah.
At the same time, the struggle is balancing your family time with that. But we can make it work. um, Cool. So yeah, I mean, we're leaning. Are you leaning more 1.11 for this next update then?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Cool. So my next question for you all, and this will be my last one that's Animal Crossing related here, but what do you predict will happen for Animal Crossing this E3? And I kind of put in parentheses, New Horizons or other. Nina, what do you think?
Again, I'm not sure if we're going to see a huge presence. They might ramp up their Twitter account a little bit more and maybe even come out with like a video to try and lure some people back to the game. But I just don't see them spending their precious E3 time on Animal Crossing.
So, you're saying it's not even going to be there?
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Oh, man.
Oh, sorry.
Sad thoughts, but I mean, that's a very valid prediction for sure. Sergio, what do you think here?
Well, I do have one prediction related to Animal Crossing. I think this is a given. I think based on the evidence, what happened last year and what we got this March, I think it's pretty safe to bet that we're gonna get some Zelda themed items either late this year or maybe early next year, or maybe the Zelda characters that we had in New Leaf. So that's all I expect from for Animal Crossing, some type of Zelda collaboration for their 35th anniversary. I think that's it. That's it, and that's all.
And honestly, that to me, I feel lines up with like a 1.11 type of update.
Yeah.
We saw the Sanrio characters return, and we've seen Mario items get added. Like them doing a mix of both would honestly that'd be all right. I think a lot of people would be pretty excited for Zelda stuff. I think the one difficulty that we run into is the Sanrio cards. They're sold out. I don't know if they've been restocked. I haven't seen it. I don't know if they will be restocked. They're pretty rare. People kind of have to go use other means to get those, you know?
Right.
Beyond that, like the Zelda amiibo are pretty rare too. I don't know how easily accessible they're going to be. If you don't already have them, they might be pretty expensive. So I'm not completely confident. I think what makes sense for them to do at this point to me is that they should make the kind of all the other series characters into amiibo cards as well. Like Wolf Link, as in there is the Wolf Link amiibo, but make Wolf Link the Animal Crossing character, put it on a card, sell a pack of those. Like if they came out with the Zelda amiibo pack, I think that would kind of offset the difficulty of printing out more figures and making them available. Because the other thing that people are going to run into is that like this goes beyond being an Animal Crossing fan. Zelda fans are going to be trying to get all these amiibo as well.
Oh, yeah, true.
So if we're not going to just be fighting each other for these figures if they went for them, and maybe not even the cards if we went for them. Like we're probably going to be fighting everybody, the entire world, to try to get these amiibo. So that's the one difficulty I see with that, but they could just go the easy route with items, I'm going to predict something a little bit different than both of you, and I'm going to say we're going to be surprised by an Animal Crossing spin-off.
Ooh.
Perhaps a follow-up to Amiibo Festival, but I'm sure to many people that's what they don't want, and they'd rather have like a follow-up to Happy Home Designer,
True.
But I think we might get a spin-off just so they can test out some new ideas for the next game or something.
You know what? Not only that, but about every one per year we get a Wii U port to the Switch, and this could be another one.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's true. Like we could just get Amiibo Festival. The only way that would be okay is if they add online multiplayer.
They have to, yes.
Yeah.
I want this game so bad.
I know, Nina, I know your Wii U doesn't read discs anymore, right?
Yes.
You need the game. Is it a download option? Can you download the game?
I don't know where my Wii U is anymore. I gotta look for it.
Well, yeah, some people want Animal Crossing New Horizons on Switch. It's a very small base of people, Nintendo, and you probably won't make much money from it, but, do it anyways. We'll get it.
Yeah.
As long as there's online, once again.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Even Mario Party has online now.
Yeah.
That's incredible. We never thought it would happen, but it happened. All right. Well, I mean, that's our Animal Crossing stuff. We'll see if we see anything. We're holding off on the podcast a little bit later, just in case we do. But for now, we'll just wait and see. We're getting close. It's a week away now. So let's. Yeah, it is exciting. Let's go ahead and hop into talking about our general gaming stuff. So, it doesn't really have to be Animal Crossing related. So, here are my questions. So I'm going to start you off with this one. What are your Nintendo/other gaming hopes for E3? What would you really like to see, Sergio?
Ooh, okay. Well, I'm taking sky is the limit approach with this question. So, and yeah, I'm mostly focused on Nintendo. So what I definitely want to see the most, if they can show us at least a little bit, like a tiny, teensy little bit of gameplay for Metroid Prime 4.
Oh.
That would be bonkers. And to keep on dreaming, I want to see something related to Golden Sun. Even if it's just a port of the first two games from the Game Boy Advance, that's an RPG series that really deserves some love, and it's been long forgotten. So it would be nice to have something like that on the Switch. Also, to go with the Zelda celebrations for their anniversary, I think it would be nice to see like a traditional Zelda that is dungeon based, but it would be 2D and it would be on the
Oh,
Switch.
that'd be cool.
Because they have the engine for it from Link's Awakening, so I think they can just reuse that. And last but not least, if I can see some gameplay for Splatoon 3, I'm sure both of you would agree.
Yeah.
It would be nice to see that.
Yeah, you have a really good list here. I want to talk about them all because, I mean, Metroid. I want to have a confession. I have never played a Metroid game
Ooh.
outside of like the first one, and I basically just died a bunch because it's hard. um, I have played a little bit of Metroid Prime, the first Metroid Prime,
Mhm.
and I didn't understand really how Metroidvanias work. So the first dead end I hit, I was just like, I don't know what to do. And then I sat there for maybe an hour, and then I was like, I don't know if I don't know if I'm going to get anywhere with this game. So
Right.
I stopped playing, right? I didn't know that you're, supposed to hit those walls, backtrack, discover some new things, right?
Right.
Um, this summer, recently I decided that this is the summer I'm going to try to get into Metroid. So I'm totally down to see some Metroid Prime stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's what I wanted to say about that. Golden Sun, awesome. Would love to
Nice.
see anything Golden Sun. That reminds me, the first two are available on the Wii U eShop. Make a Game Boy Advance Switch app thing so we can
Yes.
play those.
That's it. Yes.
Just have them available on the Switch for free. Introduce people to Golden Sun because it's so good. It's so good.
Nice.
And then what was the last thing you mentioned? Oh, well, you mentioned Zelda, 2D
Right.
Zelda.
Mm.
Always down. It's the 35th anniversary of Zelda, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully we see something like that.
Yeah.
But then Splatoon 3, that is going to be the game. I'm so ready for it. I'm tired of Schellendorf on Splatoon. It needs to die and never go back into rotation again. And
Oh,
that's
wow.
all I need from Splatoon 3. No more Schellendorf.
I hope we get to see something, but it's not out till what, next summer? So I
Right.
wonder if next E3 is going to be a huge Splatoon 3 E3.
Ooh.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Split 3-3.
Split 3.
Split 3-3. I love it. So Nina, what are your hopes and dreams for, Nintendo or anything else gaming?
I mean, definitely sneak peeks of Breath of the Wild and Splatoon 3. But I've also have really been enjoying indie games on the Switch lately, so I kind of hope they do a little mini indie window, so that we can see what's coming out. There's, a few games I've been waiting for, and games that kind of dropped off the face of the earth, like the
Yes.
Minico's Night Market.
Yes.
What happened? I want to play it. So,
I think they tweeted 2 or 3 days ago, and it was just a little picture, and they just said, "Game's going great."
Good. Okay. Well, we'll
So
cross
it's
our
in the
fingers.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I used to be someone who was like so bored during the indie showcase, and now I'm really into it. So I'm hoping that, I'm hoping that we get some of that. And I know I mentioned this last podcast, but a new Mario Kart or a new Mario open
Oh.
world game like Odyssey, I'm just
Mm.
feeling like we haven't gotten anything huge lately to look forward to. Oh, and if they did a new Pikmin, I'm a huge Pikmin fan, so
Yes.
sky's the limit. Brand new Pikmin would be amazing.
Oh, nice.
You need to go grab the Wild at Heart on Steam.
Oh yeah, I do.
It's like a mix of Pikmin and Luigi's Mansion. I love that.
Yeah.
Also, really great list, Nina, because I'm right there with you. Splatoon 3, obviously, I want to see that. But yeah, I need to see Breath of the Wild too at this point. Like, it will have been literally 2 years since we got the one and only trailer for this game.
Wow.
This E3.
With this creepy skeleton head. It's
Yeah.
been 2 years.
2 years. That was E3 2019.
What?
Wow.
and people assumed it would be a lot closer,
Yeah.
reusing the assets and stuff, and that already
Oh.
being 2 years after the original game,
Sheesh.
So it has been a wait for
Yeah.
this to get any piece of news for this. So hopefully this is the year that silence ends and we can see it, because I definitely need that. My other thing that I'm hoping for, WarioWare, always. I
Nice.
already told you both my plans. I want to basically remake a WarioWare game in the Game Builder Garage to kind of learn game making and game design and that sort of thing. So I'll make my own, since you're making me, Nintendo. But if you make one too, I won't complain. Will not complain. But I don't know. I guess I just really want to see a lot of cute games announced for
Yeah.
Switch. I just like cute things, and I think we are in need of some cuteness right now. That's basically it. There are a good amount of indies I'd be happy to see as well. Things like The Wild at Heart, like I just mentioned, or Ooblets would be amazing. But I follow both of those games' development too closely, and I know that it isn't going to happen. That's not going to be a surprise announcement at all, as much as I wish it did. But, something along those lines that's, just as cute, I'd be really, really happy to see that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, those are our hopes. So now I want you to both predict what Nintendo will cover in their E3 presentation. I'm going to go last here because I actually wrote down what I think they're going to do for their entire 40-minute showcase.
wow.
Oh man.
So Nina, do you want to kick us off here?
I am so in the fog for this, so I'm glad you have a whole dialogue going, because I usually by now I've seen tons of predictions, tons of hype, bingo cards. I think I have seen one bingo card lately, but I everything is just kind of so pulled back right now that I don't know what to expect, which makes me think we'll get a surprise somehow, because I know Nintendo loves to surprise people. But I can't even answer this question, Chuy. I'm sorry, I have no clue what they're going to be showing.
I think just predicting that there's going to be a surprise. That's perfect.
Okay, there you go. That's what I think.
I think most of us want that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
We want to see something that's just gonna blow our minds.
Yeah. It's probably me at the very end too. They just love to do that. They love to be like, "Oh, it's over now." No, it's not. So we'll see.
Yeah, they love their one last thing.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
snap.
yeah.
Yeah.
They always do the little finger snaps to go into that. Yeah. Well, I'm into it. I think you're spot on for sure with that guess. Sergio, what are your predictions here?
Well, I'm keeping it pretty safe. I'm not expecting a lot other than a lot of Zelda. Again, it's the 35th anniversary, so I think we're going to get at least another port. We know we're getting Skyward Sword around July. I think they're going to announce another one for later. I think we're going to get more information on Breath of the Wild 2, maybe even a release date, and it might be sooner than we think. Like I said, it would be very nice to get a new 2D Zelda, and I think it makes sense. It would be more dungeon-based instead of the open world that is Breath of the Wild 2. I think it would be very nice if they announced an online concert, which, for example, companies like Capcom have been doing for their franchises. So, just to play it safe with COVID still, I think it would be nice if Nintendo did an online one that everyone could watch. And I just expect a lot of Zelda collaborations, like clothing, items, accessories, things that people could buy. So I even expect the next Smash Brothers DLC character to get announced during E3, and I think it's going to be from Zelda. I think Nintendo is going to go all Zelda this year.
Oh.
That would be cool. I what if it's another Link though?
What if it's Epona? What if you're just a horse?
Yes.
And you're just kicking people?
Yes, perfect character. Perfect choice. That would be the one. That'd be the perfect announcement to end it all. I gotta tell everybody that now. I'm gonna say my friend Nina said Epona's gonna be in Smash, so There you go.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah, those are great. Sergio, I'm with you. Like, I think this is the time to do like all the Zelda stuff. Like they
Right.
already told us, the Skyward Sword thing, and I think that was just a little teaser for what's to come. I think we're
Yes.
gonna get a lot more and a lot bigger announcements in that realm too.
Yeah.
So let me take you through what's going to happen
I'm
exactly
so ready for
in
this.
this Nintendo E3 presentation.
Let
I
me
wrote
get
it
some
all
popcorn.
down. I got the leaks. Basically, my uncle who works at Nintendo told me everything that's going to happen, so nothing's going to be a surprise anymore. So here's what's going to happen. The first announcement, Smash reveal, obviously. Come on, anybody a mile away would have guessed that. I don't know who it's going to be, but it's going to be Epona. Epona, my friend Nina said Epona is going to be the Smash reveal. From there, we get the Switch Pro
Ooh.
reveal.
Oh.
People have been quiet about this one, but it's going to happen. They're going to give us some nice details about the specs, the release date for this holiday,
What?
and then we get a new WarioWare trailer, and that's going to be delightful. It's going to be so strange and have some weird, realistic Wario that's better than Elon Musk as Wario. After that, you're going to insert some high-profile third parties, some indies, just that part that nobody really cares about. But the part that's only possible now because the Switch Pro is going to be powerful enough to play those games, right? But still, nobody really cares. From there,
Jeez.
a couple more Nintendo games, probably something along the lines of Kirby, right? But then we get a huge surprise, and it's Donkey Kong Racing
Ooh.
getting announced
What?
instead of Mario Kart 9, which is going to be received with very mixed emotions because so many people are waiting for that next Mario Kart. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen. It's going to be Donkey Kong Racing, but Donkey Kong Racing is going to be way better.
What happened
it's
to
gonna have
Diddy?
Story mode. Diddy, he got deleted.
Dethroned.
I don't know. It's Donkey Kong's 40th anniversary this year.
Okay.
And everybody's been saying they're working on like a 2D Donkey Kong, and I'm like, no, they're working on a racing Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong Racing. After that, we're going to get, after that huge surprise, it's just going to go into like the sizzle reel. We're going to get tons of games quickly flashing on the screen. And then finally, we get a little recap of things that we already know, the upcoming games. Mario Golf is going to get mentioned. Skyward Sword is going to get mentioned. But the big thing here is the Skyward Sword mention is going to lead into this big Zelda blowout. It's the 35th anniversary. We haven't seen anything, so it's all huge news, ports, new game, trailer, all the things, 2D Zelda, whatever, everything you want that's Zelda. And it'll be about 15 minutes to end the presentation.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Okay. And then what's
That
the
is-
surprise ending, Uncle Tendo?
The surprise ending is that it's going to end right there.
No.
It's going to actually end.
That it
right
actually
after
does
that.
it.
Yeah,
Surprise.
that'll be the surprise ending. The biggest surprise of all.
Oh gosh. No surprise for you this year.
I do
well,
have
we already
a...
got surprised by Donkey Kong Racing.
Okay. Okay.
Right. And I do have a question, Chuy. I'm wondering if Epona is exclusive to the Switch Pro.
Luckily, she's not because Smash already works on the Switch. Sakurai has used his master development powers to make her work on all Switches.
Oh, wow.
Even
That's
the
amazing.
light.
No. Her mane and tail have like so much animation to them. They're so beautiful and shiny that only the Switch Pro.
That's
can
what I was
render it.
thinking, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, somehow they got it to work on the regular Switch. I saw footage myself
Wow.
from
Oh,
my
wow.
uncle. So it's happening.
One of her attacks is that, Zelda comes over and brushes her mane and it's so shiny it blinds the rest of the fighters.
That's the perfect attack. Honestly, perfect. And all of the different costumes for Epona are going to be all of their different horses, because you can find like Ganondorf's horse and
Oh yeah,
Zelda's
White
horse.
horse. Yeah.
Yeah, so those will be the alternate skins for Epona.
That would be cool.
Nice.
Honestly, I would be hyped if it were Epona. That'd be like such a good mix of strange and amazing.
Yes.
That it would just be the perfect way to go about it. So yeah, I mean, I'm sorry for all the spoilers, everyone. That's exactly what's going to happen. And you heard it here first, a week early from Uncle Nintendo. All right, so I did want to end this little segment by asking both of you, are there any other conferences you're interested in catching for E3? And I'll actually start here. I am really excited for the Wholesome Direct. It is happening on Saturday.
Ooh.
Wholesome Games is basically just this place that shows off a lot of really cute indie games, a lot of stuff that, like, I don't know, people who tend to like Animal Crossing tend to like these art styles and everything. So
Right.
yeah, I think that they're going to be worth checking out. So that's one that I'm really interested in. I already know some of the indie games that we're going to get some news from, so I'm excited to see what they say. But outside of that, I'm also excited for the new stuff. And then I, of course, have become a bit of an Xbox fan recently, a Microsoft fan, and so I'm pretty stoked to see what they've got going on, especially because a while ago they bought like tons of indie studios, and I'm just like waiting to see how that pays off, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so because they already have like, that's the only place where I can play Ooblets right now and the Wild at Heart, unless I, get them on Steam, but Xbox is a little bit easier for me. So yeah, I guess, Nina, what are you interested in?
Well, this is my first year I've ever had a gaming PC, so my world has been opened up to new E3 booths. I'm excited for Microsoft too because they did purchase Rare, and I love me some Sea of Thieves, so I'm excited to see anything about that. And then Steam during the PC gaming show. I want to see what's new on Steam because I've been using Steam a lot lately. So
Oh, nice.
that'd be good.
Yeah.
Anything. I'm open for
Yeah.
it.
Imagine they announced Banjo 3E finally.
Oh,
That would be
man.
cool.
That would be quite the announcement.
Did either of you play Yuka and Laylee?
I played ukulele. My warning to you, don't play ukulele directly after playing Mario Odyssey. It's not
no.
gonna feel good.
No.
Play it directly after playing Banjo Kazooie, and like Banjo Kazooie, you'll be like, oh, I don't remember it feeling this like clunky and everything,
Aw.
and then you'll play ukulele and be like, oh, this is what I remember Banjo Kazooie feeling like.
Okay.
So yeah, don't go from Mario Odyssey to ukulele. Go from Banjo Kazooie to ukulele, and it'll feel just right.
Okay. Noted.
Awesome. So Sergio, what are you looking forward to seeing?
Honestly, I'm gonna try to catch as many of them as I can, either live or repeated. I always love E3 because it's my chance to see what all the other developers and companies are up to. Usually, it's not games that I'm too interested in, but I still like to watch. I still like to be in the know because this is my favorite hobby. But definitely the ones that stand out, other than Nintendo, definitely Microsoft, Ubisoft. They're having an event too sometime around, I
Oh.
think that week, and Square Enix is also having a conference. So yeah, I'm looking forward to those the most.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you got a lot of really good ones to look at. Square Enix, come on, give me a Final Fantasy Tactics. I wouldn't mind. Cool. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be a big week next week. There's going to be news, non-stop news, basically the entire week. We've already seen like a bunch of stuff starting to get announced even last week and into this week. So we'll be flooding in these things. And I can't say this enough. If the podcast is up late, it's because we're recording later than usual for this. So don't be scared. Haken is not gone. will be in your feed just a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and hop into our Haken's Islander Corner. For those of you who don't know, every single week we ask our patrons on Patreon a question and read their answers out loud here on the show. This week's question: I wanted to show a little bit of love to a not so popular species in Animal Crossing, so I asked, who is your favorite gorilla villager in the game? So we'll go me, then Nina, then Sergio on this one.
Okay.
So the first answer is from Islander Phoebe, and they said, I think that Violet is pretty cool. She is super confusing. She has a fabulous red lipstick and the snooty personality, but her outfit is very boho chic. She's also pink rather than violet, as her name suggests, at least in New Horizons. I give her 5 out of 5 stars. And honestly, I think Violet's my favorite too. Every time I see her, I think I've run into her in a villager hunt once, and I was just like, if I weren't looking for those non-amiibo villagers, I'd probably take you, but one day she will be on my island. I really like Violet, for sure.
Nice.
She was in my city folk town. I loved her.
She's great. I really like her design.
She's got really cool bracelets, too. I like her.
Mm-hmm.
Waffles of Earthsea says, I love Hans. He's just a smug little Yeti who is a perfect villager for winter months. I like putting him up in the mountains away from everyone else like a true abominable snowman. I love Yeti. And I think I've got a Haken Hans who's been to like 3 or 4 different people's towns in Haken. So he's well loved.
That's pretty awesome. Hans is, I think Jackie currently has him. I don't know if she's let him leave, but she got him during the winter. And she really enjoyed having him like up in this little foresty, snow forest area of her island. So yeah, he's really great for that type of theme for sure.
And the inside of his house is like super cold. It's like snowy and has the ice furniture, but the outside is like a little tropical shack. So he's just adorable.
Yeah, really cute one.
Nice. So Mark Bridgewater said, Rocket. Had her since I started over a year ago. She is part of the fixtures now. And her sisterly personality is awesome. Oh, yes. I think that's always a big plus. The sisterlies are just so amazing.
Yeah, and Rocket's one of those like superhero villagers as well. So if you ever want to go with like, superhero theme, always a really good choice to get her.
Yeah.
I was never a fan of those like super themed villagers until New Horizons, where like you give them a hat, they have a different, like their helmet comes off. They look completely different. So they're so much more interesting to me now.
Yeah, it's pretty funny how you can get such a different look of them. It was kind of like in Happy Home Designer. I saw Eugene without his like shades.
Yes.
And he's just got those little tiny beady eyes.
I love it.
It's so funny. It's so funny. So our next answer is from Benedict, and they said, I think Boone is really awesome. His design mirroring a baboon rather than a regular gorilla is cool to me because I love to see different species represented in the broad archetypes. I wish they added a little more incentive, though, through unique dialogue to give people a reason to pick up and get to know great villagers like this. And yeah, I mean, that's the one thing we're going to run into, with only so much so many differences with the personality. It's like people are probably going to choose one they like over another.
Yeah. Ugh, but you guys remember a while ago when we did our trivia, I had that one question about all the animals that don't fit into their category, actually.
Yeah.
And I love Boone. He was in my New Leaf town, and he's one of those really cool ones, just like Hans, where it's just like he's not actually a gorilla, and that's amazing.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel like we discovered so many animals that day too that were like based on different animals. That was really awesome.
So Ganuki says, I think it's a tie between Boone and Owl. Boone would be number 1 because of his awesome design, but he's a jock, and jocks in New Horizons are a bit much with their sports and muscles talk. Al shares my real life name, and he shares my real life personality of lazy, so what's not to like? I've never actually had a gorilla villager, except maybe in City Folk as a starting villager, but I love how big they are. If I ever see Boone or Al, I will definitely consider having them move in. P.S. Rilla scares me. Oh no. Rilla's the Hello Kitty gorilla, isn't she? Oh.
Right.
Yeah, she is.
She had
Poor
so
Rilla.
much potential.
So much. But she is not popular at all.
No, she's not. Oh well.
Yeah.
Nice. And the last answer is from Trebibu, and they said, it's between Violet and Hans. Violet has been on my island for over a year, and I just love that Hans looks like a Yeti. He reminds me of the abominable snowman. Yeah, I mean, looks like these two definitely have a following.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very popular, surprisingly. I was really glad to see that other people also liked Violet, because I've always really liked her, so I'm glad one day she'll live on Haken. We'll see when, as I, keep going for all the non-amiibo villagers. Yeah. Well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast. Don't want the episode to end? Well, you can keep the conversation going by Nintendo switching over to our Discord. Just follow the link in the description, and you can talk with other people who love Animal Crossing as much as you do, including Sergio, Nina, and me. Want to support the show in a bigger way and get your voice heard during the show? Visit patreon.com/ChuiPlaysNintendo. You can support our show with just $1, get special access to a secret room on Discord, join in on the Haken Islander Corner, and even read a monthly newsletter covering all things Haken and Chuy Plays. We really appreciate the support and put your money towards some great things on the show. Tuned in on YouTube? The comments are a great place to let us know your answers to the Haken Islander Corner. Who is your favorite gorilla villager? If you dig what you hear, please KK slide over to that review section on your platform of choice. Let people know what they're missing out on. Haken is a wild production brought to you by Chuy, Sergio, Nina, and all of our patrons. We thank you for listening, and we hope you have a great week.
Goodbye, everybody.
See you all next time.